Hey everybody, Jim Weaver back with you once again, and I find myself in a very serene environment, and one that we must be very respectful. But we're going to play a little game of Did You Know? Because I didn't know this until just a couple of days ago. Did you know that here in Texarkana, or just outside of Texarkana, there's a little place called the Rondo Cemetery? And from what I understand, over there, and I'll show you here in just a few minutes, there's supposed to be a number of Civil War grave sites in this cemetery. But did you also know there's a tank here? How cool is that? This is an early World War II tank. I think it's called a Stuart. I'm not going to swear to that, but I think that's what it's called. Anyway, let's go check out the tank. I also see there's some field artillery over there, and we'll go check out those grave sites of Civil War soldiers here in just a minute as well. It's another edition of Did You Know? There it is. Look at this thing. It's fantastic. I had no idea. Well, first of all, I didn't know the cemetery was here, even though I've lived here a long time. And secondly, I didn't know that there was a tank in it. Obviously, if I didn't know the cemetery was here, I certainly didn't know there was a tank in it. But that's pretty cool. I'm kind of a World War II buff. Always been fascinated by the machine and the men and the equipment used and all of that sort of thing from the World War II era. There's my truck behind it. Hi, everybody. But I am just fascinated by this stuff, and this one is rather amazing because simply you can actually, I wouldn't recommend getting in it, but you can certainly see in it, and it would be kind of, I would imagine, pretty dangerous to actually get in. Very rusty in there. You could cut yourself very easy, so please don't do that. And always keep in mind, this is a cemetery, so you must be respectful. You certainly should be respectful of those who have served and died and are buried in this place of honor. And right over there, I'm fascinated by this thing, but right over there is a little piece of field artillery. We'll go over there and take a look at that. And I believe in that grove of trees over there is where the Civil War soldiers are buried, but we'll go find that out for sure. That could be further over in that way, but anyway, this is the Rondo Cemetery, and I'll give you directions in the blog. Here's that piece of field artillery I was pointing at from over there a few moments ago. Pretty darn nifty. Had no idea this stuff was here. Again, like I said, I'm fascinated by this stuff, but I really highly suggest you don't come out here and play on these things or anything like that. This is well, it's a place of respect. But being fascinated by this stuff like I am, I had to come out and check it out when I found out it was here. Confederate records stored at Rondo. When General Frederick Steele's Union Army invaded southwest Arkansas in April of 1864, threatening the Confederate state capital at Washington, Governor Harris Flanagan moved the state archives to Rondo, where they were deposited in James Abraham's store. Editor John Eakin moved the press and type for the Washington Telegraph to Rondo for safekeeping during the Union invasion. Some of the Confederate soldiers detailed to guard the government records died and were buried in the Rondo Cemetery before the records were returned to Washington. It looks like, yep, that's going to be these graves right here. Well, not that one, because that one says 1910. Here we go. Unknown Confederate soldiers. Wow. No names on any of these markers. Unknown Confederate soldiers. Wow. I said that before, didn't I? In memory of the 85 unknown Confederate soldiers, war between the states, 1861 to 1865, a record by WWII Chapter of the, is that UDC? 1962 is what it looks like. And this sign says this property has been placed on the National Register of Historic Places by the United States Department of the Interior, erected May 2006 by the WWII Chapter, number 2057, United Daughters of the Confederacy. Wow. So I was looking at these gravestones, and they say 5 unknown Confederate soldiers on each one. And at first I thought I was misreading that, but that's what it says. So it says there were 85 unknown Confederate soldiers that were buried here. Thus 5 for each stone, and that's your whole line of stones right there. Let me back up a little bit and give you a better sweep of that. With Old Glory right there. I guess I can't emphasize that enough. Always be respectful when you're out exploring other people's property, cemeteries, old houses, anything like that. But this is a beautiful old cemetery. And it's right here in your backyard, Texarkana. Maybe you should come out and learn a little history from time to time. Fascinates me. It's another edition of Did You Know? Okay, I gotta admit, the little kid in me is screaming, "Get on it! Get on it! Get on it!"